Have you ever been deployed and received a care package that just totally sucked? Like maybe it had food in it that went bad, or maybe it was just filled with a bunch of stuff you had no use for, or worst of all, maybe they sent you strawberry Pop Tarts. Now, I don't know if that joke's gonna ring home with everyone, but when I was in Afghanistan, strawberry Pop Tarts were like the only thing we had to eat other than MREs, and yeah, haven't eaten one since. Now maybe you're on the care package sending side of this transaction and you want to avoid making some of the mistakes that I just mentioned. Well, you're in luck because today I'm going to share with you the keys to creating the best military care packages as stated from actual veterans. Now, this isn't going to be your typical guide to care packages. This is going to be focused on what service members actually want and the items that will actually make the most impact on their lives. Now, in case you couldn't tell by this incredibly mild shirt that I'm wearing right now, I've been around the military a little bit, so here we go. There are several online resources that discuss military care packages. They always seem to miss the mark on what service members really want. Now, there's an article by Veterans United, for example. The top items on their list are things like socks, toothpaste, sunscreen, sewing kits. You know, these are practical items. And while they are practical, I can't remember ever sitting in Afghanistan and thinking, man, I would kill for more toothpaste from home right now. The reality is that the military will ensure that your deployed service member has access to necessities. They're going to have toothpaste, they're going to have socks, they will have packed a ton of socks and plenty of other practical items before deploying. So your loved ones will let you know if they're running short on these necessities, but if they're not specifically asking for socks or toothpaste, perhaps your money is better spent on things they actually want to receive instead of the necessities that will most likely be afforded to them while deployed. So, last week, I decided on a whim to ask our large Facebook community, which if you're not a part of yet, you should be. We're about to hit 10,000 members. So this is the community of service members and veterans. I decided to ask them what they really, actually wanted in their care packages. So now I compiled it all down into results for you so that you can benefit from this information of what they actually want. Now, this might not always be what they need, but this is what they want. And isn't the point of a care package to, make them happy when they're deployed? Anyway, these are the actual results from 55 plus ideas generated in the Facebook group. Now, as you can see, or you will find out, they're about 80% male and 20% female responses. So this is fairly accurate representation of what you would expect most veterans to say, because that's fairly close to the, I don't know, you know what I'm getting at, demographics. There we go. Now, as you can see, socks didn't make the cut, nor did toothpaste. The list of best military care packages, according to veterans, so here are the top 10. We're just going to go over the top 10 items for you to put in your military care packages. The first is snacks. The most common snack mentioned by far was beef jerky, then pistachios, almonds, chips, and somebody even said peanut butter Captain Crunch, right? So those are all mentioned. But beef jerky was by far the number one. Number two is supplements. Now, pre-workout was the most commonly mentioned supplement, but protein powder was also in there as well. And maybe there's some others, but just make sure that you order from GNC or bodybuilding.com, or at least verify that whatever supplements you're sending don't have any banned substances in them, right? You don't want to get the guy in trouble or the girl in trouble. Now, the third item on the list is a like button smashing. Yes, that's right. Every veteran wants you to stop right now, take a brief moment, and smash the like button on this video, which will help this video reach more people, and then more service members will have gotten the word out to their families about what they actually want to receive in care packages, so that'll help them, avoid receiving spoiled protein shakes in their packages. And yes, I've actually seen that before, and let me tell you, muscle milk does not age well in the desert. All right, so the actual number 3 is tobacco in all forms. Now, I understand why other websites don't want to condone the use of tobacco products, but the reality is that veterans want them. I, for one, smoked almost the entire deployment, and I haven't really been a smoker since, other than the occasional cigar here and there. Now, there were pretty much equal mentions of buying tobacco, whether it be in chew or dip or in cigarette form, and even one mention of sending actual cigars to the desert, which I can certainly appreciate. Now, the reality is that even if the service member doesn't use tobacco products, they will still be useful for bartering with other people. The caveat here is that you might not want to send tobacco products unless you know who the box is going to, because you wouldn't want, like, you probably don't want to be sending tobacco to somebody you don't know, right? Sometimes people give care packages to people they don't know. But if you know them, I mean, tobacco, maybe just a light note about trading, helpful. Now, coffee. Coffee's number 4. It's not a surprising answer. Now, the MRE instant coffee we receive is pretty terrible. So note that most of the asks were for local coffee and not Folgers. And one person even asked for whole bean, but the majority still preferred coffee grinds. Now, number 5 on the list is books. I think this is a great idea. There will inevitably be some downtime on your deployment. I know people don't believe that, but there is still downtime, and hurry up and wait even on deployment. And without your cell phone, books are a great way to pass the time. I read several books on deployment, and at the time I was not a reader at all. I would add that I think it would be even more powerful if you sent them non-fiction books that have the potential to change their life for the better, as opposed to only sending fictional books. Now, I mean, that's a give and take, right? Like, they might want some books for entertainment. Most of the stuff I read was fiction, but definitely send them something that'll really help them out in life too. Now, homemade snacks was number 6 on the list, and the most common answer for this was chocolate chip cookies, or cookies in general, but beef jerky, homemade beef jerky actually made the list here as well. But just ensure that if you send cookies, you find a way to package them so they're not completely dried out and crumbly upon arrival. I believe my mom used to use like a piece of bread in the Ziploc bag, and something to do with that, attracting moisture. I don't know, helped keep them fresher, but I don't know. Number 7 is games. Now, the type of game seemed to vary, but I think Sudoku, crossword, deck of cards were probably the most popular. My friend Aaron also mentioned slingshots. It can serve a dual purpose in Afghanistan, both passing the time as a game and also keeping people, like kids, away from climbing on the trailer of your truck. And yeah, those little crappy, there's not like a nice way to say shithead, but those people, they'd be throwing rocks and slingshots at you, so sometimes you just had to get them back. Anyway, number 8 on the list is hot sauce. Tapatio was the most commonly mentioned, although I personally like Cholula. But number 9, a flash drive on deployment, right? Service members used to pass around drives in order to download movies from other people in their platoon. Now, by the end of deployment, I had almost a terabyte of movies downloaded onto one of my external hard drives, and I had watched a substantial amount of them. I actually still have the hard drive with like entire archives of like cartoons and old school movies. Like, I remember watching Swordfish on deployment, and, so I still have the hard drive, but I generally prefer watching movies on my television now instead of my crappy laptop screen. And then number 10, and this one had to make the list. This is actually number 10 and 11, but I combined them. Photos of family and letters. I'm actually surprised that these were so far down the list because, I loved receiving handwritten letters and photos from loved ones. But I suppose the moral of the story is that you can't go wrong with a photo or a thoughtful letter. They would prefer that you place it in the package with all the above crap instead of just a photo and a letter, right? Like, if you're going to put a care package together, throw a photo and a letter in there with the supplements and the snacks and the games, right? Now, look, so this was some ideas for military care packages, but what you decide to put in a care package will vary based on how well you know the service member it is going to. Often people send care packages to people that they've never met. Sometimes they don't even know who it is going to, and that's obviously going to shift how personalized your box should be, right? You're not going to send like photos of yourself and like a really lovey-dovey letter if it's going to someone you don't know. I mean, maybe, not judging, but now if I was going to ship a care package to somebody I don't know, and maybe even I don't even know who the box is going to, like I don't even know what gender or what unit, so this is what I would personally put in it as of right now: beef jerky, a can of Pringles or a bag of Chex Mix, coffee, a book, shameless plug, my book, haha, which comes out soon, but another business and investing book, some drink flavor packages, like, maybe the little squirt balls of Neo, or just like, I prefer, probably the dry ones are better, a small bottle of hot sauce, and if I was feeling really generous, some pre-workout or tobacco products. But again, that one's kind of a taboo, so you never know. Now, what not to send, right? Don't send alcohol or drugs. They're illegal, so don't send it to service members, right? And don't send firearms or ammunition, also illegal, and they probably have plenty of it if they're actually deployed. Don't send perishable foods. Again, remember, muscle milk does not age well in the desert. And don't send aerosols or pressurized products. You don't want to blow up your box or your plane, right? Now, don't forget to diversify unless requested. An entire box of just one item won't be as well received as a box with multiple different items in it. So the bottom line is this. If you wouldn't be comfortable with your mom knowing you sent the gift, you should probably not send it. The service members are pretty open-minded to most things though, so if it isn't illegal and you're comfortable putting it in a box, by all means go for it, right? Here's the too long didn't read, which obviously you wouldn't see if you hadn't skipped to the end. So look, the best military care packages. When all else fails, just focus on sending things that you would like to receive. Try to put yourself in their shoes and act accordingly. Nobody is going to be upset about what you send them in a care package, so you really can't mess this up. Now, this video was simply recorded to help you level up your military care package game, so now you are equipped to send the best care packages a service member will ever receive, which will make their day. And as a final word here, we as service members and veterans really, really appreciate the fact that you're watching this and the fact that you're thinking of sending a care package to us and the fact that you care enough to watch a video like this and research what they want. Just whoever you send that to is going to be blessed. So that's awesome. Thank you very much. Make sure you like the video and subscribe if you got something out of this, or if you're a service member and you want to see some of our other content about building wealth in the military. But I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.